Good Monday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to GardenStateWeather.com and GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, providing New Jersey and the Northern Mid-Atlantic region's weather portal. In-depth forecast analysis video discussion for this Monday, the 13th of January, 2020. I've been away on vacation, came back late yesterday, and starting to get things back in order here at the Weather Center and also throughout my home as well. There's a lot of stuff to take care of, especially the mail, the laundry, the food shopping, all of these things. Here we've got our bird perched. Today feels more like January than it did over the weekend, where temperatures, many records broken on Saturday and Sunday across all of New England and the northern mid-Atlantic. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Still trying to look up the details of all the warm temperatures that occurred over the weekend here. I was here in Florida, and we had stiff winds with rip currents. Nobody was really in the water, and it was a sandblasting kind of weather as high pressure was off the coast and the winds came in from off the ocean. We also had the wolf moon, the January full wolf moon, which created rip current risks all through Florida during the time that I was there. But I did go to the pool, and I do have a suntan. So, meanwhile, over the last 24 hours up to early this afternoon, the 24-hour temperature change, big change in the temperatures. We're down about 24 to 28 degrees in many places here, teens and single digits here in a few spots too, where the temperatures have dropped down. They're warming up now in this area because we've got a lot of warm air advection which is happening, and of course they've also cooling down here across southwestern and western Canada here, southern Canada, and across the upper Midwest, especially over the northern areas here of Washington and Oregon and Montana and Idaho. Yeah, big temperature change here as the new storm system comes in. But everything else has been relatively mild up to this point, but big changes are still on the way, and we're feeling it today. Start off with the visible satellite information this afternoon, from this morning into this afternoon. Well, we've got a very active subtropical jet stream, and even though we have high pressure and control, I'll show you the surface map in just a moment, we're not getting out of the clouds anytime soon. Maybe a brief clearing in portions which is occurring right now across the Poconos and central and southeastern Pennsylvania as we head into the late afternoon hours, and the sun is already declining here as the satellite is moving through space. So we've got a lot of mid-level clouds, mostly cloudy skies across the area. We've got a lot of convection here building up across the southeast here and across Texas. Here we can see this with our plume of moisture. This is an old frontal boundary that's stalled out now across the Delmarva, but there's still a lot of moisture here all the way through the Baja, into Texas, into the southeast. This is a stalled out frontal system. We'll take a look at what the surface charts look like in just a moment. If we get into the water vapor, the lower layer water vapor imagery, we can already tell that even still we have a plume of moisture coming in from the subtropical jet stream. This is at the lower layers of the atmosphere, probably about 10,000 feet or so. If we go up to the upper level water vapor channel, this is showing a lot of lifting here in the green colors here, and this is an active pattern that we're in right now. It doesn't seem like winter's here, but changes are definitely afoot. Now here comes the rain now along that frontal boundary. Most of it has stayed south now through the Delmarva and off the coast. These are the Doppler mosaic radars combined together here across the contiguous United States. So lots of rain going on right now through the Carolinas, especially central and coastal areas here approaching coastal areas here along this front. Showers and thunderstorms across Alabama, Louisiana, and Mississippi ongoing, and parts of southeastern Texas as well, as this large ridge of high pressure and this stalled out frontal boundary and subtropical jet continue to feed moisture into this region. Meanwhile, we have a new storm getting organized here across the northwestern prairies here and across the coastal areas here in northwestern United States. Okay, here's the latest surface chart out of the hour of 3 o'clock this afternoon. Here's our quasi-stationary warm front, cold front, and nearly stationary front off the Delmarva here into the Virginias, back down through the Carolinas, back down through Mississippi, Louisiana, and right along the Gulf here. It's feeding in a lot of moisture. Here comes our next system developing across the western United States, especially just off the coast here of Washington and Oregon. It's getting ready to be poised to move on shore. Meanwhile, we have this distinctive polar front, which is meandering here throughout the area, the upper Midwest all the way into just south of and along the Great Lakes here. And it's not really providing too much of precipitation yet, but all of this and some of this will be coming in our direction over the next couple of days. In fact, over the next couple of days, it's just going to be a couple of these disturbances here in this flow. And by the weekend, this and this energy will combine, and we're going to get an isentropic lift event, and everybody wants to talk about the snow and the ice and everything. We haven't seen it, so let's bring it on. Okay, this is one of the things that I pointed out in the blog spot post early this morning about this weekend. Now, listen, you need available moisture. We know we have a very active subtropical branch here, okay, which is still feeding in from off the Baja. Some drying. Look at all this drying right now that's over us now on this Monday afternoon and Monday evening. So, even though we have high clouds and mid-level clouds across the region, we see an increase or an influx with another disturbance coming across, but very little water vapor here across the area, maybe a little bit more as we head through southern New Jersey. So we'll get into the details of this forecast for Thursday, for Tuesday, actually, Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening. So the clouds that are over us now are just going to continue to fill in as far as I'm concerned, because looking at the water vapor channel, that is what the latest model guidance from the European wants to do. Now, things dry out after this. Very dry air, sinking air here on Wednesday on the water vapor channel. This is important to look at. Where is that stationary front? Where is all this moisture feed and onshore flow coming in? So it's going to be kind of wet down in Florida, definitely wet as you head further to the north here across the Carolinas into Texas. All these areas in here, because the front is basically stalled out. What's happening here as we get to Thursday, we have another wave of low pressure, okay? That's traveling through the polar branch. Again, slight chance of some showers, again, but lots of dry air here over northern New England, Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, the New York City metropolitan area, all of our forecast area except central and southern New Jersey. This doesn't look too impressive either. The big deal here is the weather change, as we got a strong pull of moisture into the area. Now, this is supposed to be for Saturday afternoon. This is the latest model guidance now, and it's backed off since yesterday. So we're basically finding, moderate amounts of water vapor to be tapped into for this isentropic event here as we head into Saturday, as we head into Friday night. Basically see the Friday night is going to start out pretty dry. It's going to take the atmosphere a lot to wet bulb and cool down. And then by Saturday, the energy is further south now. And then, of course, all that drying which occurs. So this is something that I wanted to talk about. And again, notice at the end of this loop, we have an upper level low here. We have a low pressure area here off of the coastline here. But again, all this dry air that's in place impedes the fact of precipitation across the region as we head into late next week. So here's our stalled out frontal boundary on the latest European model guidance. So not much precipitation going on right now and not forecasted for our area. Notice low pressure moving in through the upper Midwest. Here comes our new snowstorm and a rainstorm across the upper Midwest, the Rockies, and off the West Coast. As we go through the next 24 hours or whatever, here's the surface low moving off the coast. Again, This is for Tuesday in the afternoon, so a few showers may get into the New York City area, may get into, central and southern New Jersey. It's not a big deal, believe me. Trust me, this pattern isn't looking too good. Now, as we get into Wednesday, here comes another short wave on that polar front that I talked about, and it's getting into the Ohio River Valley area in Pennsylvania. It's going to cut up through the Great Lakes here into the St. Lawrence River Valley, and everything in the pink, that's snow. Everything in the blue, that's rain. But here comes the cold front, and it moves through, so there could be some widely scattered showers around on Thursday, especially in the morning and the early afternoon. If you want snow, you got to go to northern New England. That's where any kind of appreciable snow will happen. Any kind of deposits will be left very shortly. And then here comes very cold high pressure over southeastern Canada, central southeastern Canada, 1044 here, getting into the upper Midwest. Here comes more energy off the West Coast and diving into the plains. Now, everything's going to dry out. Everything looks good here. High pressure's in control on Saturday. So we know we got cold air coming in on Friday and Saturday with a large temperature drop. But here comes the isentropic lift, because all of this energy that you're seeing here coming in from off California and all these other short waves here interacting here in the polar and subtropical branches here, going to form a surface low on Saturday that's going to be formidable, because there's going to be lots of moderate to heavy precipitation in the form of snow falling over the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes actually, rain across the Ohio River Valley. But then as you get into Pennsylvania with that cold air still hanging on, we've got high pressure wedged in but giving way over southeastern Canada. And this is important because as we get into Saturday morning, that's when the wet bulbing is going to start to occur. And then all of this isentropic lift, as the storm really starts to bomb out across the Great Lakes area, and we've got snow coming down in moderate to heavy form during Saturday afternoon. First we start out dry, then we start out with snow, then we start to lose the snow and mix with rain by Saturday night across coastal New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. But it looks like, we're in for several inches of snow here on the back end of this, and then everything just goes to rain. This storm is bombing out, and there's a secondary that's developing here, and it looks like the model guidance, the latest European model guidance, like I said earlier today, wants to place the secondary, you can hold this over here, off the southern New England coast. So if you want snow this weekend, this is really the place to go. It doesn't mean it's not going to snow here in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, or the New York City, Connecticut, Hudson River Valley area. It's going to be little snow here in central and southern New Jersey, especially along the coast, the I-95 Philadelphia corridor. Sure, you can start out as snow, but there's a lot of warm air advection, isentropic lift, so everything starts out in the morning as snow. It could be virga until everything wet bulbs, and then eventually you're going to go over to rain. Everything's going to change over. So Saturday looks like a mess around here in the New Jersey, New York, Philadelphia metro area. And just a quick review here about the kind of snowflake that falls in these isentropic winter events, or in any winter event, in any kind of winter storm, depends on the temperature, Fahrenheit. So, as we get up, with higher humidities here in the upper layers of the atmosphere, we're going to find temperatures anywhere from -10 to -20. We're going to focus in on this area here, the -10 to -20. That tells us the kind of snowflake that's going to fall from the sky on Friday night and Saturday, especially across the metropolitan area. We're either going to have columns or we're going to have plates. Dendrites are pretty high in the atmosphere, so you got to get above -15, -20 degrees for dendrite and stellar plates to form under this regime. European model guidance 700 millibar, 10,000 feet temperatures. This is what we want to see. Here comes the change in the atmosphere as we get into Thursday. Now, again, this is at 10,000 feet, but as we get into Friday, we've got -13, -14 Celsius. These are temperatures in Celsius. So we know we've got warming underway here because we can see the temperatures start to warm from the negative values here in the teens into the single values as we're heading into Saturday. So we know that warm air advection is heading over the top of a colder dome. Isentropic lifting is occurring here at the upper levels, or actually the mid levels of the atmosphere, and then the temperatures continue to rise and rise and rise until they're just -3, -5, -6. Now these again are at 10,000 feet, so this shows you where all the warm air advection is going before all the cold air begins to take in again across the region as we head into Sunday afternoon and Monday when the precipitation is ending. The thing to take a note at here is the 850 millibar temperatures, and that's important because that's the mid-levels of the atmosphere where the snow crystals, the water vapor and the snow crystals and everything begin to change over and formulate our pattern of what kind of precipitation, what kind of snow crystal are we going to get. So on Friday, we're getting down now into -9. The lower the number here, the better. But we're already seeing warm air advection here on Saturday morning, and this is why the latest European model guidance is suggesting, yeah, I mean, it can still snow, obviously at 5,000 feet, but we're not going to get those kind of dendritic, crystals to last too long. And here comes all that warm air across the southern Delmarva area here, and even at, 5,000 feet now. At 3,000 feet, this makes a difference because what kind of precipitation are we looking at on Friday? Nothing really. It's going to be Saturday morning actually, but we need, in order to have a staying ground for our snowflakes here, we need to be below zero at 3,000 feet. So, basically we're here. And by the time we get into Saturday, we're still here in the morning. So as we get into Saturday afternoon, evaporational cooling, dynamical cooling probably occurring at the same time, lowering the temperatures, keeping it snow. But notice by Saturday afternoon, everything starts to rapidly warm up. And we can still be dealing with freezing precipitation and even some wet snowflakes here across this area here of the Hudson River Valley, northern New Jersey, Long Island. But notice all this warming. Everything is changing over to rain by Saturday afternoon, according to this diagram that I'm looking at right now. And of course, by Saturday night and Sunday, the warm front has passed, and here comes all that warm air advection with temperatures at 3,000 feet above zero. So you get the picture here. Dynamics are impressively important. And then we go downhill. After the snow leaves, all the temperatures begin to drop down again below the negative values at 3,000 feet, so we know. And of course, we've watched this coastal storm here developing off the coast here at 3,000 feet. By the time we get to next Thursday, again, the atmosphere is pretty cold. And if we go back here, and again, all of these things are going to change depending on the boundary layer temperatures, the upper level dynamics, the dynamical cooling, all of this stuff. By the time we get into, Saturday night, Sunday morning, what kind of snow are we looking at here? Are we looking at for criteria, winter weather advisories, or winter storm warnings here? Well, it's possible anything over 4 inches is probably a winter storm watch, but nothing is intact here. And if we looked at previous diagrams from all of the model guidance, the GFS and the European model guidance that I'm looking at now, again, thermal profiles, how much warm air advection happens, how quickly it happens determines when the precipitation begins to change over, and also frontogenetic forcing, dynamical cooling, all of these things make a difference. But we know we're going to get snow in parts of the area over this weekend. Very little around the coast, very little in the south, but we know that we're going to have. Now, don't look at this diagram and say to yourself that this is going to be the truest of everything, because it's not. It's constantly going to change. So, of course, as your meteorologist, Robert Smith, I'm going to continue to monitor all of these things as we go into the week ahead. For GardenStateWeather.com, GardenStateWeather.blogspot.com, I'm meteorologist Robert Smith.